Hi everyone, I'm Nathan Phillips,
And I'm Nishay Raval.
and over the last semester, we have been working on a research project combining haptic technology with VR that we are calling Applying Haptic Pulse Encoding Techniques for Spatial Awareness in VR Environments.
So let's talk a little bit about the current landscape of virtual reality technology. So right now in virtual reality, traditional visual boundary systems are used to mark the edges of the play space that you're currently in. However, these can sometimes be very ineffective, especially because they can be conflicting with your primary modality of virtual reality. And researchers like Wickens have created models of mental workloads to show that this overlap in modality would lead to increased workload for users. So we were really interested in seeing if there is a way to give these users an intuitive understanding of the obstacles around them. Some researchers have tried solving this by using haptic cues with various interfaces, and this is primarily what our research hopes to extend.
One of the things that a lot of these novel research papers haven't covered is talking about how you can properly and most effectively encode different distances. So that's what we really wanted to hone in on was which encoding techniques can we use to most effectively transmit a distance to a user. And so we've chosen to draw from two techniques, one where pulses will be modulated by duty cycle and one where they're modulated by frequency. In our frequency condition, when you're moving towards the wall, the pulses will increase in the frequency, but will retain the same duty cycle, let's say 50%. Whereas in the duty cycle modulation, the frequency of the pulses will stay the same, but the percentage of time that they are on for will increase. And here you can see a visualization of how those two conditions are changing as the user is getting closer to the wall.
So to take a look at the virtual reality layout and our haptic belt design, on the left we can see our haptic belt which has 8 aero motors spread out across it, and this belt would be wrapped around the user's waist. And in the VR environment, this is a 2D view of what this could look like, and we would essentially have 8 raycasts spreading out, and each one is encoded to a single motor on the haptic belt. So based on the distances, it would change one of the two independent variables that we identified to attempt to see if it improves the user's spatial awareness through this haptic feedback.
For our between subjects tests, we wanted to measure how these two conditions would affect the following dependent variables: spatial awareness, workload for the user, performance during our task, and presence in the virtual environment. You can see on the right side what measures we're actually using to see if there's a change in these variables. And so our hypotheses were that frequency modulation would be better across the board, increasing spatial awareness, decreasing workload, increasing performance, and also increasing presence.
So to take a look at what we have planned for the future, over the course of early next semester, we'll be doing human subject trials after we finish developing out our virtual reality environment for the testing. And our hope is to see if the two independent variables we identified actually do help users' spatial awareness and their awareness of the boundaries around them through this haptic feedback.
In the future, we also believe that this technology has applications outside of VR. You can imagine someone with a vision impairment could use technology like this to be more aware of their surroundings around them while they're walking around. Or on a construction site, if someone needs to be visually focused on a task, this technology could still give them an awareness of obstacles that might be moving around on all different sides of them. But yeah, we're excited to continue work on this research next semester. Thank you.
Thank you.